Good evening. Been a little while since I sent a video out. Just thought I'd throw some things out there that I've come across, and the ongoing path that is research. I discovered recently that I've spoken before about Agenda 21 and obviously the chemtrails, which it's something that we're all concerned about. And I learned that the DNA in our body, it's like an antenna. It's a transmitter, it's a receiver, and it's also a storage device. And it stores all of the information that ever existed is in each one of our DNA. And it's just a matter of being able to access that information. Now, the body is like it's sort of like a biocomputer. I take that back. It's the mind is more like the biocomputer. The body, which contains the DNA being like an internet. This infinite reserve of knowledge that you can tap into. And there needs to be a connection between the two, almost like a modem or a Wi-Fi network, something that connects the two between the biocomputer and the information available. And that connection, that modem, it's the pineal gland in the brain. And so the more that the pineal gland is calcified, the more difficult it is to make that connection, which be almost like your Wi-Fi signal, where you get some places where you get a nice, good, strong signal, and some places you don't. So the more your pineal gland is calcified, the weaker the connection between the unlimited information stored in your DNA and the biocomputer, your mind, accessing the information. And so having said that, with that premise, I learned that these aerosol programs they contain nanoparticulates and nano RFID chips. Now, I have not been able to verify, but I suspect that they also contain uranium, which throughout the cosmos, uranium and phosphorus make a marriage. Throughout the universe, it's been determined that uranium and phosphorus make for good bedfellows. And we've got the phosphates in our DNA. And when they use like the depleted uranium in the weapons that they're using in the Middle East, that depleted uranium then attaches itself to the phosphorus or the phosphates that are in our DNA and our mitochondria. And those are areas that provide us our energy. Those are areas that provide us with our access to the infinite knowledge. And something that I suspect that they're doing with these aerosol programs is there was a professor from Maryland University, or a former professor at Maryland University, and this was reported by what's her name? I think it's like Lenora Murray, I believe was her name. She was a scientist on the Genome Project for a better part of 5 years. And she had mentioned about this professor who did this experiment on lab rats, where they were given the soup that they make up the aerosols with. And he also tested the depleted uranium, and these materials attach themselves to the rat's DNA. And what he did is he used cell phone tower signals. And he emitted these signals in the same frequency bands, and he discovered that it would separate the strands of the DNA. So if you can picture the double helix DNA and the strands that are connecting our DNA, well, when our DNA is sort of modified with the uranium, with the aluminum, the barium, the strontium, the heavy metals, our pineal gland is calcified from the fluoride in the water and then our medicines. Now, the smart meters, the cell phone towers, the Gwen towers, all that stuff is then, emitting these certain frequencies. And he discovered that by emitting specific frequencies, he could affect specific strands of the DNA. So he could actually separate certain strands. So now, if we take all this into account and we consider that we are all made up of a vibrational energy, everything that we see, everything that registers in our senses is made up of a vibrational energy. And we consider that our pineal glands are calcified, so it's making a very difficult connection between the biocomputer and the infinite information in our DNA. And now you attach these heavy metals, the uranium, you modify the DNA. It's almost like you're putting up firewalls on the information. And so now you think about it, you've got your biocomputer, which is affected by the GMOs, it's affected by the poisons that are in the water, the air, the earth, by the processed foods that we're led to believe are healthy for us, the hybridization programs in the foods. So all these things are making our biocomputer like an outdated sort of a computer that's got viruses in it, in the hard drive. And then you take a crappy old modem and you try to access information that's got a ton of firewalls. Well, I mean, it's reasonable to guess what's going to happen. And that is that you're not going to make the connection. You're not going to get the information downloaded that you could otherwise have access to. And so when we think about it from that perspective, and we think about the fact that we're all vibrational energy, if we remain in a lowered state of vibrational energy, and a lowered state being, fear, anger, anxiety, frustration, division, the racial tensions, all of those things are, they're all designed to keep us in a lowered state. Even religion is designed to keep the mind or the biocomputer in a lower vibrational state. So if we keep all this in mind and we don't look at these aerosol programs from the physical perspective, because the physical is, again, it's a vibrational makeup. It's vibrational energy, vibrational frequencies. So if we think about the physical in those terms, then if we succumb to the fear of what they're doing with these aerosol programs, if we succumb to the fear that it's killing our bodies, if we succumb to the fear that we're going to die, then there's no way we can elevate to the higher vibrational frequencies. So where I'm going with this is that if we attempt to radiate from what I like to call a love energy, and by that I mean everything that, you know, all of the emotions or the states of mind that bring you to a higher level, like, you know, if you can imagine, you know, we just got through Christmas, and I've got 4 children, and it's a very challenging time this time of year. I'm a contractor, you know. In fact, you can see, I mean, this is one project I'm on. I've done virtually all this work by myself, you know, not including the mechanicals. I didn't do the plumbing or the electrical. I didn't mud the drywall, but I did build the addition. I did frame everything in. I hung all this drywall by myself. I put all these windows in by myself, including 3 cinder block cut-ins. So for me, it's a challenging time of year, but the pure joy that my children got opening their gifts translated to the pure joy in my heart from sort of the Munchausen by proxy with their joy. And so what it did is it raised my vibrational frequencies. And that's an example of the love energy that I speak of, that I talk about, is if you can imagine the pure joy in a child's laugh, or the joy that they get from receiving a gift that they're longing for, or when they're just running around and playing, that is the love energy. You know, when you go to a convenience store and you hold the door for somebody, or if you're passing somebody in the mall and you just smile at them, if you are, you know, you dance like nobody's watching, or, you know, you sing like nobody can hear you. You know, these are all examples of the love energy. And what happens is that radiates from you to others, and it helps to lift their vibrations. But the more important thing, what it does is it counteracts all of the intentions of the aerosol programs, all of the intentions of the cell phone towers, the Gwen towers, the frequencies that we're bombarded with every day. It counteracts all that, because they're attempting to keep us in these lower vibrational states, because that's what the entities that are controlling this holographic reality we live in feed off of. We are their cattle. And the more we stay in that lower vibrational state, the more food we are for them. But if we can operate every day, if we can manifest those higher vibrational frequencies, then that starves these entities. But what it also does on the physical side of it is it actually brings people together, in the sense that it forms a bond of like brotherhood almost, you know, which is what we are. We're all cells of the same organism. We're all one. We're interacting with each other in this existence, but we're not separate from each other, you know. And so it's just something that has been sort of weighing on my mind, and I just thought I would try to express some of the things that I've been learning lately. And so one thing I would like to say is, anybody who comes across this video, I truly do wish you joy and peace in your existence in this realm, and I hope this helps. Thank you.